Hello YouTube, I'd like to welcome you to the first episode of Magic Dad. That's me, and I'm going to show you a little deck tech over one of my favorite decks of all time. So, without further ado, I'm going to introduce you to the commander of the deck, Ranar the Ever-Watchful. He is a 2 white and a blue for a legendary creature, Spirit Warrior. He has Flying and Vigilance. He's a 2/3. The first card you foretell each turn costs 0 to foretell, and whenever you exile one or more cards from your hand and or permanents from the battlefield, make a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. So this is a really fun build around. I didn't focus too heavily on the foretell. I tried it. I tried every foretell card that I could throw in there, and it just never seemed to pop off the way I wanted it to. But in Magic, there are so many cards that can activate his ability with exiling cards from your hand or permanents from the battlefield. So that's the route I took. So just really quickly, we're going to look at Ranar's stats. So as you can see, the deck contains 17 creatures, 11 enchantments, 1 sorcery, 26 instants, 9 artifacts, and 36 lands. And just to kind of go into more detail, 11 of those are protection spells, 9 targeted removal spells, 1 board wipe, 22 blink or flicker spells, 5 ramp spells, 7 card draw, 4 token multipliers, and 4 token pump spells. So basically the goal of the deck is just to activate your commander as many times as you can, create as many small tokens until you have an army of 1/1 flyers, and pump them up and swing for the win. I didn't build it like your typical blue deck. It's not very stacksy. There's only maybe 2 counter spells total, but I did want to protect my board because token strategies can be very susceptible to board wipes. So let's get right into some of the interesting cards in the deck. So, of course, I wanted to include some common blink focused spells such as Conjurer's Closet, Teleportation Circle, Soul Herder, and Boss of Deep Dwelling. These 4 are great in the deck because they provide a source of constant blinking. Every turn, every end step, you get to blink a creature with a Teleportation Circle and artifact, and trigger your commander. So this is ideal. You want one of these blink outlets as soon as you can get it out. Next, I'm going to show you some of the creatures that really play into the deck strategy. We've got Feldar Guardian, Restoration Angel, and Icewind Stalwart. If you get any of these 2 onto the battlefield with your commander in play, you're going to trigger an infinite loop, where if you blink the Restoration Angel and then blink Icewind Stalwart, well, this one comes in, this one comes in, this one comes in. It's going to keep making a 1/1 flying spirit token every time. And you can do that infinitely, as many times as you want. You do eventually have to resolve the spell to break the infinite, but once you have successfully made as many spirit tokens as you want, you can resolve it and have a massive, almost unbeatable army. So that's basically the only infinites in the deck, is any 2 of these with the commander. Next up, I'm going to show you some cool cards that I added. This is a little bit jank, but it's a lesser known card, and I thought it was really cool for this deck. Salt Skitter. 3 and a white for a worm creature, 3/4. Whenever another creature comes into play, remove Salt Skitter from the game, and returns Salt Skitter to play under its owner's control at the end of turn. This is the old text, which now has been replaced with the phrase, exile Salt Skitter from the game, and return him to play under its owner's control. Basically is a flicker spell. So whenever another creature comes into play that's on anybody's turn, Salt Skitter is going to get scared. He's going to exile himself away and make you a spirit token. So you can, on other people's turns, make a lot. Probably 4 1/1 spirit tokens within an entire turn rotation. This is great for your strategy. Next up, I included a vehicle, the Golden Argosy. The 3/6 legendary artifact vehicle. Whenever it attacks, exile each creature that recruited this turn. Return them to the battlefield tapped under their owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. So this is also great with any creatures that have good ETB effects, which I have a few in the deck. But it's also just a consistent blink outlet. And with a fairly large toughness, he should stick around for a while. The one board wipe I mentioned in the deck is Fell the Mighty. This is good because it could possibly be a one-sided board wipe. Destroy all creatures with power greater than target creature's power. So if you want to keep your commander, but basically get rid of everything else except for your 1/1 spirits, you just choose Ranar. Or just choose your 1/1 spirit, and if you have enough, you can possibly swing in for the win right then. Plus it's just good to have at least one board wipe in the deck, in case things get too out of control. Also have Kaikar, except for Awakener. 3/4 with flying, 2 white and blue, legendary creature, bird wizard. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, choose one. Exile another target creature you control and return it to the battlefield under its owner's control at the beginning of the next end step. Or create a 1/1 white spirit creature token with flying. This is basically doing everything you want in the deck. You cast a lot of non-creature spells, so this will trigger pretty regularly. Next up, I'm going to go into what I have for card draw in the deck. So first up, we have Aether Channeler. This guy's great. You can blink him and choose one of his 3 options every time he enters. You can make a bird, you can return another target non-land permanent to its owner's hand, or you can draw a card. I use him primarily as a solid source of removal for anything threatening on my opponent's boards. He's also just a great source of card draw. Next up is Welcoming Vampire. 2/3, 2 and white for Vampire with flying. Whenever one of other creatures with power 2 or less enter the battlefield under your control, draw a card. This ability only triggers once each turn. This is great though, because you're going to be making a lot of small creatures, and it's a good, consistent source of card draw. Next up, we have Downward Port Mage. A 1/3 frog wizard, for 1 and a blue. Whenever one or more other creatures you control leave the battlefield without dying, draw a card. Then he has activated the ability, 1 and a blue, and tap him to return another target creature you control to its owner's hand. So again, we're going to be doing a lot of making creatures leave the battlefield without dying. So it's a consistent source of card draw, and he has a bit of protection built into him in case someone targets one of your key pieces. Next, we got Kindred Discovery. Classic enchantment for 3 blue. As it enters the battlefield, choose a creature type. I choose spirits. Whenever a creature you control the chosen type enters the battlefield or attacks, draw a card. So even without the attack skirmish, this would be really solid card draw in the set. For as many spirit tokens as we're going to make. But it's also on attacks. So, and it doesn't say 1 or more. So we could have 5, 10 small 1/1s attack and draw 10 cards. This is huge card draw in this thing. But I don't think I have to convince anybody how good Kindred Discovery is. Next up, Kazia's Welcome. This one's great because we're going to have a lot of small creatures enter. It only triggers once each turn, but we get to draw a card every time we have a creature with mana value 3 or less enter, which is, of course, all our spirit tokens. And I really love the art. I believe this is depicting Urza and Mishra when they went to live with Kazia, so a little cool magic look. Next, the Skull Clan, the classic. We're going to be making a lot of small creature tokens. Earlier in the game, if you don't have anything pumping them up, you can equip the Skull Clan to draw 2 cards. This is very good in the set. And then this is a fun piece of tech that I feel like fits so perfectly with this commander. Argenteus. It enters the battlefield with 2 oil counters on it. Whenever 2 more creatures attack, put an oil counter on Argenteus. Then he has activated ability, pay 2, tap Argenteus, remove 2 oil counters from it. You can exile another target non-land permanent. Its controller draws 2 cards. Now while this can act as removal, in most cases I prefer to use it on as creature tokens. So I exile a token, get another one from my commander, and I draw 2 cards. And of course, every time 2 more creatures attack anywhere, it gets an oil counter. I think this is a highly underrated piece of tech, and it just fits so well in this deck. Next up, we're going to go into the pump spells that I have in the deck. So Intangible Virtue. Next up, we have Ranar Skull Captain. 2/2 for 1 blue and a white. He's a flying spirit soldier, and gives our other spirit creatures +1/+1 hexproof. So +1/+1 is great. We can build our army up bigger, and give them all hexproof. Particularly our commander, because he's the linchpin of the deck. Next, hit Arch Crusade. 3 white, whenever another creature I control enters, put a 1/1 counter on each creature I control. This can get out of hand. If a lot keep up with the 1/1 counters, but it can make our spirit army huge. Banner Kingship. This is kind of the secret weapon of the deck. Once I have a large amount of spirit tokens, it doesn't even have to be that large, even 5. And it doesn't even have to be tokens, it can just be spirits. I choose a creature type, and then remove a fellowship counter for each creature I control that shows a type. So if I have 6 spirits on the board, now my spirits all get +1/+1 for each fellowship counter in the artifact. So now my 1/1s are 7/7s. You can see how this can get really out of hand for my opponents. Next, Patchwork Banner. This is a great card. It doubles as both ramp and a pump spell. Just give my creatures, anxious spirits, +1/+1. There's a lot in there. First up is Selfless Spirit. 2/1 flying spirit cleric for 1 white. It says sacrifice Selfless Spirit, the creatures you control get indestructible until end of turn. This is great to get into a board wipe. Once it's on the board, you just don't have to worry about it. Of course, it only protects against destroy effects. Next, Ghostly Prison. I don't have to tell you that this and its blue similar card, Propaganda, can win you games just because it makes it so inconvenient for your opponents to attack you. Area Interlude. This is a great instant. I can exile any number of target creatures I control and return them at the next end step. So if someone attempts to Farewell or any other destroy all creatures spell, I can blink all of my non-token creatures. I can blink my tokens too, but they're not going to come back. But all my important pieces, all my important creatures will come back. So this was great. Clever Concealment, probably one of the best protection spells in all of Magic. The Convoke is nice because I can use my spirit tokens to pay for it even if I'm tapped out. And any number of target non-land permanents I control phase out. So I can leave them to the board wipe of any sort. I'm just going to say, my entire board is just not here. Fantastic in the deck. Next, we got Make a Stand. Creatures I control get +1/+0 and indestructible until end of turn. Indestructible is what I really played this for, but the +1/+0 can be a great game ender if I just need some more power on my creatures. Cosmic Intervention. Has Foretell, so our commander lets us foretell it for free and play it on a later turn. And now, if a permanent I control would be put into a graveyard, cast this, exile it, and then return it. It just works perfect in this deck. Dawn's Truce. 1 and a white, instant, you can gift a card to somebody. You and the permanents you control can gain hexproof until end of turn, but if you give the gift, your permanents also gain indestructible until end of turn. Very solid protection spell. And finally, we have Rootborn Defenses. 2 and a white for instant populate, which means I get to make another copy of a token I control. And creatures I control gain indestructible until end of turn. So a pretty hefty protection package, just because a token strategy needs it. And last thing we're going to talk about is the cool lands that I have in the deck. And there's not a whole ton, it's mostly just white and blue, a few duels, but nothing too crazy. I'm going to show the cool lands that you might enjoy. So Mystifying Maze, for colorless, but I can pay 4, tap it to exile a target attacking creature an opponent controls, and beginning the next end step, and returns it to the battlefield, tapped under its owner's control. So while it's not really removal, it is at least deterrence, because they know they have it on board. So if they have a creature with a lot of auras, or +1/+1 counters, they don't want to lose all that, they may think twice about attacking me with this up and enough mana to use it. Plus, it kind of works with our commander. Next up is on the cemetery. Capture colorless, pay 5 and tap it, exile on the cemetery, and a target creature's owner shuffles it into their library. I think this is a pretty solid piece of removal on land. While you're not exiling the opponent's creature, you are exiling the land, which will trigger your commander once. And on top of that, it's just getting rid of a pesky threat, at least for the time being. Next is a NBFC land that taps for blue or white. Ingigate Pathway. Tap for white, and the other side will tap for blue. Just whatever you need. It's great mana fixing. Finally, have another NBFC, Skyclave Clear. It's a 1/3 creature on one side that when it enters you can gain 2 life, which is pretty good if you want to blink it, gain a little more life. Or if you need a land, you'll land on the other side, and then we come and tap, but that's okay. And that's it for the deck. I hope you enjoyed this first video from Magic Dad, and I'm going to be trying to make more videos in the future, so please subscribe,